I'm a big old dumb idiot. I thought I was live. OBS. Oh my god. I've been talking for 3 minutes already. All right, we're gonna just chill out. I gotta restart the whole stream. All right, hello everyone. I gotta tell the joke because it was funny. I've been talking to myself for about 3 minutes now. Well, that's fine. Anyways, the thing that I already said, we'll let people kind of join because I forgot to hit the go live button. As I was putting my iPhone, because I shoot this camera here as an iPhone, my normal phone. As I was putting it in the holder, I do that like right before I start the stream. Siri was like, let go to call emergency services. And then she's like, calling emergency services. So like my phone is dialing 911. So I had to like turn it on. I had to get it out of the thing and hang up. I don't think it called that fast. It was probably like not even a second. So if if the police come, you know why. I hope not. I hope they. My friend told me that he butt dialed them or pocket dialed them, and they showed up to his house, even though he didn't talk to them. So, yeah, I don't like that. So, hello everyone. I'm not feeling again. I get sick like a lot. I'm sorry. So I got some tea. Hopefully that will tide me over. Let me see if somebody on Twitter is yelling at me. No one's yelling at me. Okay. All right, I'm excited for this stream. Pretty excited because I can finally talk about the Ninten-Drawer. I've kind of talked about it a little bit in other streams. And we talked about the Slot Master, which is kind of released around the same time. Actually, this is not really out yet. There's a pre-order. I don't think anybody's got it yet. Maybe. As far as I don't know if they're shipping yet. Anyway, so there's also the Slot Master, which is, we'll talk about that also. Like if this is the first of these replacement cartridge slot streams that you've joined, we'll talk about the alternatives. Hey, Rocker, getting the kids to bed, and I'll be back. Okay, no worries. Yeah, yeah, it should. We'll get there. We'll explain a lot of stuff, and we'll talk about it. So, all right. So why? We'll just jump right into it because I want as much time as possible because there's a lot of little things that we can do. Why is it out of the console? I've already used it, so this is not like a surprise for me. I've already booted it up in my Open Nintendo build, which is where this is going to go. Why is it out of the console now if it's already been working? Well, the actual electronic part of it works fine, but the problem is this. We'll get there, but the unit. Oh, I have a fancy. Let's see if we can. I've got a fancy pants. How do I do this? Where is that? Oh, it says pre-production on the Flex. So this is a pre-production unit. Unfortunately, the slot with the main slot that matters is the one here that connects to the cartridge. Has the worst death grip of all time. It has worse than my blinking light win. Like I'm literally. Yeah, it's brutal. So, but what's interesting, I'll just kind of transition over to the this. And actually, I have to adjust ISO. Okay. This kind of opens a interesting discussion because I think up until now, most people thought that if you were going to get a replacement, no, not this. If you were going to get a replacement 72-pin, okay, so let me maybe back up. Why? Why do people want these things? Actually, where's the actual? This is the actual original from an original NES, the 72-pin cart connector, right? And so normally a cartridge, and it goes in this fancy pants like ramp type thing. So you put your cartridge here, and then in the NES you kind of push it down. Okay, so it has this cool like VCR thing. That's what Nintendo was going for way back when. But along with that is the actual cart connector, which is the top part, or this way, the top part, and is a sort of an interesting mechanism because the cart goes in at an angle, and then it makes the connection when you push it down, right? So it's kind of bendy. And I don't know, I don't think it's like I'm pretty sure it's not like 100% failure rate on these, but it's a relatively common failure point on an original NES, is this thing. Now there's some kind of like home remedies that you could do, like I've heard that you could boil them, but everybody that I've heard that was successful with that, they say that it eventually will go back to wearing out. So I don't know if it's like an inevitability, like these are always going to fail, but so people wanted replacements for this. So the first one that I've heard of, I don't know if there are other options, but the one that I bought is the Blinking Light Win, which is actually kind of, it's two pieces. If I can get it out. It's this plastic piece, which is really just horizontal, a horizontal holder. It really doesn't have a spring mechanism, whatever. But it has these connectors. So this one goes on the motherboard, and then this one is what your cartridge connects to. And so I'm pretty sure that everybody thinks that this top connector, the 72-pin connector here, is like there's only one of them. There's only one version available. And now we kind of know that that's not true. I'll do my best to kind of show the differences. Let me see, how would I do that? I'll show actually the new one. So this top one is the connector in question. Leaving a cart in for 20 years is 99% the problem. Hey, Merlin. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So you're like permanently, well, not permanently, but long-term abuse of that rubber, of the metal pins, because they're very springy. This is the connector on the slot master, because thankfully RockerGaming sent me a second. So this is another cart connector for my non-functional prototype one, or pre-production one, but it gives me a good look at the actual connectors, and they're not the same. I'm having a hard time of showing this because they're all black. Let's kind of crank up the ISO more. You'll notice that they're not the same. The bottom one, which is the Ninten-Drawer, is like has rounded edges. Okay, so the bottom one is the Ninten-Drawer, and the top one is the Blinking Light Win. And well, actually, I have the I've got the. I don't really want to take this all apart, but you know what? I probably should for science, because now the more that I'm looking at it, the Slot Master one looks kind of similar to the Ninten-Drawer. So I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is that there are different slots nowadays than the old ones. The top. This is impossible to demonstrate everything, but I'm curious, Merlin, if you. I don't know. Is this like is the source different now than the original ones? I mean, clearly there's some kind of some new source, or I don't know. Were these? I don't know if they're willing to say like if they were commissioned or whatever. But the cart connectors are different now. So I don't know if that means like if you put one of those newer style 72-pin connectors on the Blinking Light Win. Part of the reason why the Blinking Light Win is annoying is because it doesn't make the the cart is too far forward, and I've talked about that when I talked about the Slot Master. So the Slot Master's innovation was it makes the cart stick out farther, so you really do have a better grip on it. but with Laser Bear's sort of remix of that, it actually offers this like lever with a cam-driven like pusher underneath. So yeah, but we're not here to talk about these things. So let's get the actual Ninten-Drawer fixed and in the OpenTendo, and then we can come back and compare. I guess I just wanted to mention that the actual physical slots are different and newer. I don't know if that means better or what, because clearly there are some out there that are not, because this one is, the original one that we're about to take out is not good. All right, so I have a little video. Hey, Artemis, I have a little video that we could watch from, hey, I've got this little video from RockerGaming that explains how to hold that thought. Huh, that was weird. I heard a really creepy noise. Hold on, hold that thought. Let me go see if the popo's outside. Okay, I don't know. I just heard a creepy noise. I'm not just saying that randomly. I accidentally held down the emergency call button on my phone. Hey, JD Silva, how you doing? Hey, Alteracious. All right, so we got this video. Let's watch this. Let's turn on desktop audio. Let's crank it up, and we'll listen to this little thing. I've got my little Bluetooth stuff.
All right, dude. I'm just gonna show you how to do this replacement real quick. It's honestly super simple. You've got, obviously, on the bottom, you've got a little connector. So all you got to do is, I like to like kind of grab it from here, and you can just kind of lift the screws like above there, and then this will just kind of lift out.
Oh.
Just like this.
Oh, wow, look at that.
Obviously, be careful with the flex. And then all you got to do is push this down. So get you in here nice and tight. All I did is push that down.
Wow.
This will lift right out. And then to insert it, you literally just do the exact same thing. The one thing you want to be careful is since this flex is pretty wide, it's pretty easy to put it in a little bit crooked. So when you put it back in, I usually just kind of sit here like this. Make sure that I've got it aligned like really nicely. And then I'll put this back down. Before I put the drawer back in, I just kind of give it like a nice little eyeball test. And you can see how it lines up just slightly below this top lip right here. So you're kind of in there nice and good. Then all you do is you put this down like that, and it'll slide right in.
Wow.
Bingo. Just like that. And yeah, you'll put the new card slot in. So yeah, dude, like I said, apologies for sending you the wrong one. That sucks, but...
Cool. All right, wow, that is way easier than I thought it was going to be. All right, let's get back to the overhead. Yeah, that's cool. Oh, hey, Ian Scott. All right, so yeah, let's get this out. I think I'm just gonna do the take the flex part out first, or disconnect it, I mean. Or maybe not. Maybe it's easier. So he said to like almost all the way, and then it just kind of. This kind of feels wrong, but oh, there we go. Hey, look at that. Okay, so it literally just pops out, and then we just do the thing. Look at that, and then just comes out. So I'm actually going to. I think this should be easy. I'm I'm actually going to transfer the. So this is the not great connector. I'm gonna try to take the whole board out, because the one that the replacement one has a scuffed bottom piece. I hope, I don't think you'll mind. And this actually might help Rocker to know which connector is bad if he's going to hold on to it. Because he wants this back. I'm going to send him the bad one back so that he can do some testing. So, but the thing that I'm noticing is there are nuts inside of this little gap, which they're pretty big. So I don't imagine it's going to be hard to put them in and out, but it might be a little bit fiddly. So let's get a Allen key. Gotta find the right one. Yeah, that's the right one. Okay. These nuts. So I guess actually let's take the new one out. So this is the new slot, and I did test it with a cart, and it's way easier. Like you saw me struggle on that other one. I mean, this is not. I wonder if it's like temperature related also. Huh. Okay. This is the right one, right? Yeah. Well, it was better earlier, I swear. Okay, so it's better. It's at least possible to take this one out. So I'm confident that this is going to fix the thing. So let us take this. Take these bolts out. One. And this is kind of better because that means I don't have to worry about how the connector lines up, because that could also cause some issues, right? If you have the connector, oh, those look like nylon nuts too. They're not metal. Not that it matters, but so yeah, if the pins are off by a little bit too, you could have some unsmoothness. But this way, I'm not soldering anything, which is great. All right, so that was the new good one. So let's get the old one out. Actually, let me make sure I'm not loose. This is the old one. Yeah, because this is the new. No, this is the new good one. This is the old scuffed one. Okay, so this is the old connector with the good piece. Okay, so that wasn't confusing at all. So before I forget anything, let's put the new good one into the good piece. And actually, you know what? I think this we have to line the board up with the. Oh, I mean, it is. I guess it doesn't. I guess that's it. I thought it might have to be lower, but I guess it kind of like finds its way. I'll put the other bolt in before I tighten these down. The nuts are metal. Oh, okay. It kind of felt plasticky, but the PCB. Oh no, the connector. At first I want to say that this is extremely well designed. You might say over-engineered, but from the angles here, I can't imagine how many reworks this project took. Just from the chamfers here, like I'm sure this is all designed so that I could be easily put in. Crazy. I mean, it's. I guess one thing that I will note is that this is not an open source project. I'm not sure if it ever is going to be. So it's only available right now, at least for purchase by either Rocker or Blue Shell. You can find links. I put links in the description. I don't have an affiliate link or anything, but but yeah, it's extremely well engineered. So I guess I'll just kind of half-ass put the other one back together, so I don't have nuts and stuff flying around. And then I'll install it. There is a version number at the bottom. Oh, of every part, you mean? Because I see numbers all over the place. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you look it up, sometimes on each individual part, I'm assuming it's each part. So this is 46. Version 46 of this. That's insane, right? Let's see, is the other... Right, so, oh, okay, so it is the whole thing. So this says 46 as well. You can't really read it because it's, oh, there you can. Oh, it also says beta 3 on mine. I don't know if it will be different when you get, while we're here, oh, I also want to, we'll talk about the swappable plates. Okay, so here it says 35, so that means this is version 35 of this. We'll talk about, there are replacement things, and I have one. Mine just says, do not push down, which is kind of cool. I wish I had one that just said Ninten-Drawer, but yeah, that's cool. That way you know that this is not like a thing to push. But we'll kind of talk about the design after I get it back together. I'm not really, oh gosh, okay, this is, I'm so glad that I put the scuffed board on the scuffed thing, because now I like immediately forgot which one was which. I don't really think you need to wrench these down. Okay, so let's get the flex cable back in here. I guess also while we're here, now I'm not an electrical engineer, but there are components on this. I know one of the big features of the Ninten-Drawer versus the, I guess the stock, or at least the Laser Bear, at the time that, okay, hold on. Because I think the version will probably change that you might receive if you get a Slot Master. But the version that I have has no, excuse me, the Ninten-Drawer has this region-free circuitry. Now I don't know if that means that this, whatever, this is this like a microcontroller or something? It's a little, it says Atmel. I don't know. I'm not going to read that, but I think this might be a little microcontroller or something. But it allows the Ninten-Drawer to be region free, and that's something that you actually have to kind of set up the first time that you power it on. We'll talk about that. I won't have to do that because I've already done that for mine. This is kind of fiddly. I don't think it really, it doesn't really go far in there, I guess. I think that's it. Sorry, I know that was awful, but awful camera work, but this is kind of hard to do and show at the same time. Let me just try it one more time. Okay. Okay. I think that's in there. All right, so now I gotta slide this thing. Oh, wow. That's it. Or did I do it wrong? Okay, I think that's right. I think that's how it's supposed to look, right? So, all right, so let's talk about the design before we get it in. And I suppose we can compare. I do have to unscrew a few screws before that, but I'll just get it ready. Talk about the Slot Master too. I got roasted the other day for posting that not even posting that I ate Reese's Puffs, but just posting the Reese's Puffs on Twitter. I got roasted by Leon and some other rando, saying that there's like chemicals and like I didn't even say I ate them. I ate them, but Man, just let a grown man eat his Reese's Puffs in peace. Man, Twitter is rough. Oh, gosh. I probably should have done this beforehand. I'm sorry. Especially since I'm going to have to open this up again anyways when the whatever revision happens. If I ever see Reese's Puffs, I lose my shit because that's a hill I die on. Yeah. Reese's Puffs are great. Okay, see? More grown men in the comments like Reese's Puffs, so... Or women, whatever. Oh, savage, Merlin. You guys will get there. That's all right. You know, there are pros and cons to both. It's not like one is like a slam dunk, in my opinion. All right, so on your left is the slot master. Don't mind the wires and stuff coming out of it. That's to be determined. But the real meat, I suppose, is the two things, I suppose. The compared to the PCB that is the blinking light win, right? So if the blinking light win is here, right? So if it was installed in the right spot, you'll see that it's about an inch or so recessed back. So from here, maybe not. Maybe it's, yeah, actually it's about an inch difference. So the slot master, or the blinking light win makes no attempt of ease of use for getting it out. It just kind of guarantees a solid connection, which it does, right? The cartridge fits in well. Yeah, it fits in well, but it also doesn't really fail as far as, in my meager testing of it. The innovation with the slot master is, if you can kind of tell, that this is actually a two-piece PCB separated with a flex cable, a little ribbon cable, I mean. But it's fixed. The second PCB is forward an inch, but it's also fixed, right? So in a way, it lets you more easily reach the grabby part of the slot of the cartridge, right? So it's about as far forward as the top shell allows. So if you had the top shell on, which is kind of hard to get on with the slot master. Well, okay, there we go. Actually, is this my good one? This goes to the other one. It's about as far forward as you can get. So, but it's fixed, right? So it doesn't go in any further. But it does allow you to kind of more easily. Well, yes and no. It is as hard, as far as I could tell. It's as hard as the blinking light win is to remove. That is why the Laser Bear little button thing is so handy. It is kind of fiddly. I kind of mentioned when I talked about the original, when I originally did the video about the stream about this, it is a little bit hard to pop the cartridge back out by hitting that button. So, but I don't really, that lever that Laser Bear designed is about as thin as you can make it and make it solid. So we'll put that aside for a second. Any news on the Laser Bear slot? Nope, none yet. It can't be worse than how terrible the Mario is. A Mario cereal? It's only a matter of time before the slot master gets all this sorted out. Yeah, I'm confident they'll work it out. Okay, so let's talk then about so if you get the I keep like losing my train of thought. It's like I don't know. Something. If you order from Laser Bear, which nobody's ordering from Laser Bear yet because there's an ongoing sort of, not investigation, but a fix for the electronics of the slot master. But if you order a printed parts kit from LaserBear, there are differences between the two, right? So you're getting, this is not that. This is actually, I printed this. I asked LaserBear, which eventually he will be open sourcing. Well, not, yeah. He'll be releasing the files, I think maybe on his printables page, to print your own. I printed mine in ASA, which is, it's like ABS, but it is UV resistant as well. Probably overkill for this, but if you get LaserBear's printed parts, you're going to get PLA Pro, which if you've known me for any amount of time, you know my stance on PLA Pro. But LaserBear made a good point in that if you have a print farm, it becomes a lot more difficult to wrangle with the ventilation requirements of ABS and ASA. So that's a good point. But if you get a Ninten-Drawer, you're getting PETG, which is in my opinion, it's a step above PLA. I don't really know. I haven't really done any personal long-term investigations about one or the other. I probably should, because I talk a lot of smack about PLA. I probably should make some kind of like hooks or something and like leave them outside my house for a year or something. Some made out of PLA, some made out of PETG, some made out of ASA, some made out of ABS. I'm excited because tomorrow I think I'm going to be getting a delivery of a Bamboo Labs P1S. So I'm super excited about that. I really bought I bought it to print upgrades for my Voron, because I'm kind of like, I didn't want to really touch the Voron now that it was done, because for fear of it, being mid upgrade and a part is wrong. Anyway, so it's a step in the right direction, PETG. As far as long-term longevity, I'm not sure about any of them, but that would be an interesting test. Merlin says, both LaserBear and I have designed new solutions. Ooh, and they have been ordered. Hopefully some news by the end of the week. But we are here on the stream for the Ninten-Drawer. Well, we could talk about it. I think it's people are interested about both, and yeah, I mean, it's all about the designs. It's not about, well, yes, it's about whether or not they work. That's kind of like barrier to entry, but there are other aspects that I find interesting, because I have in the past designed 3D printed parts myself. So it's always interesting to see another designer's ideas, and I love to talk about or think about it. If you're ever interested, Reventlow, I would love for you to print or design a shell for the Gotek floppy drive emulator. It's also the same as the OpenFlops, is an open source version of the Gotek. But I tried to reproduce the stock Gotek one. There's a bunch of upgrades you can do to the Gotek. You can add a little OLED screen. You could add a rotary knob. I want all those features, but I want it to look cool. And I'm doing a really bad job at it. Anyway, so it just made me think about that. You struggle. It would be nice to see a better NES cartridge slot for the Sany OS. Oh, I bet you it's the same as it's the same as this. My open source cart reader is somewhere hidden over there. That'll be its own stream, because I have some upgrade parts for that too. New connector, LaserBear is more elegant, while mine is more DIY friendly. Okay, so I guess that's the first aspect. The second is, if you couldn't tell, it has a kind of an interesting, the Ninten-Drawer. Anyways, back to the Ninten-Drawer. I guess the first thing I'll say is that it has a guided shape that guides the slot, the cartridge into the slot. The Slotmaster doesn't really, even LaserBear's upgraded version. So that's one improvement I would like to see, is at the top here, and possibly at the in the groove here. I understand that the LaserBear's cam mechanism that actually pushes the cartridge out. Obviously, you can't really add any chamfers there, but in this part, I would like to see some chamfers, because the cartridges are all chamfered like that, to help guide the cart in more, and something at the top. if I was going to nitpick, I guess, on this design. Just because I have a design with those features on it. I hope that RockerGaming and Reventlo or Blue Shell don't mind me saying that, but that's what improvements that I like to see with the Slotmaster. But those improvements are both in the Slotmaster, or the Ninten-Drawer. Sorry, I keep confusing those two. They're both here, so it makes it really guides the cart into the slot, which is really cool. So that's the first kind of cool design. Is it's like very form fit to the NES cartridge. Also, sorry, the screws that keep the PCB that we actually replaced before onto the sled part, which is this bottom part, because that will actually move. The screws, I guess, are made out of steel, some kind of, or no, whatever, ferromagnetic metal, because there are magnets in the back part that actually keep the cartridge back. I mean, it doesn't take that much force to remove it, but I mean, I can get it to go if I give it a good yank. But I mean, if you're just moving around your console, the sled, I suppose, not the cart, because there's no way. I mean, you'd have to really yeet it to try to get the cartridge all the way out without. But this is a further improvement to the idea of giving you even more reach to pull your cartridges out. So the general idea is as you're pulling this part out, you're getting a little bit more leverage to get the cartridge out. But we're going to see if that is actually anti-Deathgrip, or if it's just a similar feature to the Slotmaster. So with that being said, let's get this all together in the Open Tendo, because I'm excited for that. And I feel like I'm dying, but we're doing it. And you can't stick it in upside down. Oh, that's a good call. I don't know what kind of barbarian doesn't know which direction a cartridge goes in an NES, but that's not true. Oh, it kind of prevents it from going in the slot. You could put it in backwards. If you're a if you're a barbarian, you could put it in backwards, but you can't put it in the slot. That's funny. Okay, so let's get it in here. I'm not putting any shielding in, but you gotta lift it up here. Okay. It's kind of I don't know what the right word is, but the connector doesn't go all the way onto those the cart edge on the board, so that's a little unnerving, I guess. But it's on there, and you can see the holes, the screw holes line up with the case. So let's get 4 screws in. And another thing I'll note is on the Slotmaster, on the original cartridge connector, actually, there are actually 2 different size screws, and it's actually the only screw in the original NES that's different. Is one of these in the back is longer than the other screws in the whole thing. Now, when you're replacing the original one here with the Ninten-Drawer, you're actually only going to use the small screws. They're actually recessed. This hole right here is recessed, but there's only 4, whereas the original slot needs 6. Whereas the Slotmaster, it's kind of the opposite. So there's still only 4 screws to connect the Slotmaster. You use the tall screws because they're not recessed. That's not a pro or a con. It's just a Snapple fact, I guess. Hey, Aerial Aces, how you doing? So let's get some screws up in here. Oh, you know what is kind of obnoxious? I meant to swap out... shoot. Let's do it now. Just so that I can put this thing in here and leave it in there for all time, I hope. Oh, you were so close. I missed one thing. So, the front here, this piece at the very front, is actually removable. Let's see how easy it is to do this. Oh, pretty easy. It just got these clips. And I don't know if I haven't looked at the website, but we can look later, I suppose. There are different ones. Some of them have actual artwork, like NES game artwork, which is really cool. And this is all thanks to a multi-color printer. But you could put, you could swap them out, which is really neat. You can kind of like add a little bit of flair to your slot master, and now people know, something's up here. Something is this slot is serious business. This is not your normal Nintendo slot. I kind of think sometimes about like, what will people in the future, will they be like super excited if they see, like if they bust open an NES and it's got a whole bunch of mods? Will they be like, wow, this is cool? Or is it going to be like, it's just going to go directly into the landfill? I don't know. Okay, now people know we're not messing around. The nameplates are printable too for those who want to design their own. That's cool. I love Nintendo slots. Okay. So that's the pretty much the minimum screws to get this thing working. So what I'd like to do, I suppose, before we plug it in, is test the grep diff Deathgrip Deathgrip ability. And from the photos that I've seen, and I guess I should probably put the top shell on, but from the photos that I've seen, I've never seen anybody take the cartridge out with one hand. I mean, with the original cart slot, you could take it out because there's no resistance after it's popped up. But I've never seen anybody take one of these out with a single hand. And it's kind of the same way. Now, this is probably not fair. Let's put the top shell on. Because this is what would be like actually using it. Let's screw this in. I probably don't need to put all these screws in, but we're in it now. Merlin says, I have a thought about that. Would folks want to see a Model T car with mods? I would like to see, well, I realize that there's a lot of different types of people. If you guys have ever watched, if you're into cars, if you ever watched Jay Leno's Garage on YouTube, actually I think it was also a TV show, but I'm talking specifically about his YouTube channel. It's interesting to see him talk about the different types of car people, right? There's like people that do, they call them resto mods, which are basically like what we do, essentially, right? So kind of keep it the original look. I guess that would be like no cut. right? So keep it no cut, sort of. Well, no, I mean there's people that like hot rod their cars out, but keep it the original sort of aesthetic, but make it give it modern abilities, right? So like, I think one of the old like the original Corvette Stingray or something didn't have air conditioning or something like that. I think actually Joe Rogan. I don't know you guys. I don't know what you guys think about Joe Rogan, but I think Joe Rogan was on one time and he had a resto mod of a old Corvette Stingray, one of the. Well, I guess just by calling it a Stingray, that means it's old, right? Because they didn't make a new ones, or maybe they do. I don't know. Anyway, so it was a resto mod, so I think it had like a new engine or something, and it had air conditioning and all the fancy bells and whistles, but it pretty much looked original for the most part. So, but I'm sure there's other people that are like, actually, I know for a fact that there are types of cars, and I don't know why this is a weird car analogy, but maybe it's the same as consoles, where like if you do anything to it, if you even restore the paint on like certain old cars, like very old, like early vehicle history, like if you try to restore even the paint, you make it lose a lot of value. Like people like the original patina of those old cars. So I don't know if that's an equivalent, but it's sort of interesting to think about. An NES, I don't know, is probably not like that, but I don't know, like an FM Towns might be, or insert other rare console here. I'm just kind of pre-installing some cables. Okay. Cut or no cut means something different to my generation. Oh my god. All right, let's try to get this cart out of here. I have a theory that it's still going to be kind of hard. So the advantage is it does come out all the way, so you get some leverage on it. But at least this one, unless I'm an idiot, which is entirely possible. It could also be temperature. I'm basically blasting my air conditioner at it, not on purpose, but it is in front of my air conditioner. Oh my god. I hope I didn't put the wrong one in. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure this is the bad one. It looks kind of bowed in the middle. I'm having a hard time getting this cartridge out. I can do it! Oh, okay. Whew, we did it. It probably needs to get used. I don't know. I basically didn't watch Tito's video, Macho Nacho's video. I'm not sure what he said about it. I'm not trying to like disparage anybody, but there's probably people that thumbs are much larger. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, it does come out. The other one was like impossible. Granted, I am using probably the worst case scenario, which is an Everdrive, right? So if I use a normal cartridge, let's see. And I say worst case scenario because this is a new shell. Maybe the tolerances are different on this. You know, like maybe the middle here is in. I don't know if it's worth sanding this or something. But now I've got an old cart. It is substantially easier on an old cart. So it's possible that it is the slot or the cart. But you know, I still have a theory that I've never seen anybody take this out with one hand. Especially, so I guess what I'm trying to say is if your console is in like an entertainment center or something, I don't know. Depending on where it is, you might have a hard time getting the cartridge in and out. I mean, maybe you don't care. Maybe you're just going to stick your Everdrive in it and just never. Well, I also have to say that my Stone Age Gamer label came unstuck, so I put a piece of tape. So maybe that's causing the issue. Like maybe it's more friction or something. Stick a Game Genie in it once and you'll lose the. You'll get a loose slot. Oh gosh. Have I tried? Yeah. So the Everdrive is harder. And I'm not sure. I'm not really sure why that is. This is not like a. I don't know. I just noticed this before. But like I said, the old slot. So this is the old one. It did the same thing for the old cartridges also. Watch! It just comes right out too. It just comes right out. It probably is the same thing. It probably is not bad. Well, then that means there might be some kind of a flaw, specifically with my Everdrive. Well, the shell, I mean. So, I don't know. It's something to think about for you guys, Rocker and Blue Shell. I'm not going to say that I think that most people that are probably going through the length of putting a $50 cart slot in their NES are probably going to have an Everdrive, but I don't know how much testing you guys did with. Okay, it's possible to get it out. So I don't know. Inconclusive about death of the Deathgrip. All right, let's actually use it. Something I didn't talk about is there's a little bit of a procedure which I can't really demonstrate to you guys because I've already done it, and I don't have a different region cart. I do. I don't have one of those. Did they ever make a NES to Famicom little adapter that works with the front loader? I don't know. Would it be the PCB behind too thick? Well, the problem is it's not. It's the either the shell plastic or this cart edge or cart connector. I mean, I did kind of notice. Well, it's very hard. Maybe I'm just full of poop, but it kind of looks like the middle is a little bit bowed out. I'm not sure. So this is the what I thought was the bad one, but it's probably the same. It probably are exactly the same. But I'll send them both back to Rocker, and he can do some testing, or not. I don't know. But no, I don't. I haven't heard a single other person talk about this. So either I'm severely weak, like I'm a weakling or something, or my specific. Oh, see, I kind of have to get it at an angle. My specific Everdrive shell could be. Oops. Let me just punch my camera. That's good. All right, so let's talk about. I can't really show, but I can talk, I suppose. Let me get the triad going too. Now, I guess don't get me wrong. The Slot Master also has the same issue with manual release, manually grabbing it and pulling it out. Unless you get the version from Laser Bear that has the little button, which is difficult to press in, but it's better than not having that, I guess. Programmer hands? Oh no, you didn't. Insult the man's programming hands. You guys are killing me. I have an NES to Famicom adapter that works in the front loader, but only in the smaller Famicom carts. Taller carts don't fit. Okay. Well, I do have some. I'd be interested to see. Well, it's pointless right now because I can't really tell you the. So okay, when you first put your Ninten-Drawer in, you're going to get some blinking lights if you try to power it on. Okay. I'm not going to because I've already done the procedure. Actually, let's move over to the capture. Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I have to restart my RetroTink because I always do. And now I got to find the remote. Oh, here it is. All right, let's switch this to YPVPR. Okay. I guess let me just prove quickly that it's working. Oh, you know what? I have to switch this back to that. There we go. Ah! Uh-oh. All right, let's not freak out. Do. Yeah, this is right. It's possible that the cart is bad. So let's just try it on the Everdrive. Oh, brother. Wow. Okay, I probably should have tested it before I put the whole freaking top on. Well, now I can take it off because I'm done explaining that thing about the one-handed. Do I have a plumber friend to test it? Savage. Absolutely savage. Oops. This is probably a problem with the... I can't imagine it's a problem with the flex cable that I put in. I switched. Because this was working. It probably has to do with how it's seated in the back. This is the stream where you guys watch me screw and unscrew stuff in an NES. It's not even... Where's the content? Wouldn't it be the PCB too thick? Oh, I didn't think about... I'm rereading your comment. Beardnadidas. Oh, Beardanidas. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Yes, I see now what you're saying. So it's possible that the Everdrive PCB is too thick. I didn't think about that. Okay. Well, let's just try reseating. You don't think the issue is the connection? This connection, right? Or are you talking about the cartridge? Have you seen that problem before, where that it has that screen? I'll try to reseat the this thing again, but I was curious if this might be. I do have some growed because I don't really clean this that much, the Nintendo PCB. So I suppose we can clean that good. We'll just reseat everything all over again. Yeah, let's put this in here. It's not the drawer. Yeah. I'm gonna clean the. I realize now I'm pointing to this, like this is all the same thing. I'm pointing to the connection to the Nintendo. So I think it might be a dirty Nintendo. We'll try it. Whoa! It magnetizes that thing. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. I'm gonna clean this. Huh. All right, so I need paper towel. It's digital side. Bad connectors don't look like that. I'm not sure what you mean digital side, like something with the NES RGB? Okay. I do have to clean up the the residue that I made with the NES RGB. Okay, now I can put the slot back. I don't have deoxit. That's something I'll have to get in my toolbox. Okay, I'm just gonna put these 4 screws in for us to just try this out. Reboot the scaler again. Okay. Try that. Oops. All right, let's try it with just the Everdrive again. Where's the triad? All right, let's try it again. Let me turn on the TV, actually. Oops, I turned it off. And then I gotta switch to input 2. Whoa, almost knocked something over. All right, let's try it. Boom. Okay, same thing. Let's try to unplug the RockerGaming again. Okay, so while I'm doing this, if this is your first time using the Ninten-Drawer on your system, when you first power it on, you are going to get blinking lights on the front. And that's because it's looking for the region of the cart that you put in. So you need to keep hitting the reset button until there's a red light, a red LED. Let me, there's an LED in the back here that will turn on when it's detected the region. And then the next time that you power it off and on, it will work. So that's something I can't really demonstrate, and I was kind of, yeah, unless I had a different region cart, I wouldn't be able to show you that. Okay, now we're good. Look at that. It's just a little old reboot of the RockerGaming. Fixed it. That happens a lot. Not a lot, but almost every time that I stream now, I have a problem with the RockerGaming. I don't know if it's because I have smart switches that it's connected to. I have the same. I use the same Anchor 20 amp power supply for a USB power adapter. It's only a single device adapter, so like I don't know. Just the only solution is to turn off and on again. Yeah, Red Panda mentioned if I was putting it in all the way. I kind of mentioned that the fingers here, or the cart edge on the PCB, it is sort of misleading because it doesn't, this slot, this bottom slot that goes onto that doesn't go down past that. So yeah, I did, it does kind of look sus, if you will. It's not the fault of the Ninten-Drawer. It's not a fault of anybody. That's just how it looks. I mean, any of those would look the same. Ooh, look, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Woo! Needs a reboot every week or two. Yeah, no, I have no problem. I don't think that's a problem. It's just, yeah, I have never had to do that with either the OSSC Pro or the Morph update. You're talking about update the. Oop, it's going on 2 places. Update the RockerGaming, you mean? It's been through multiple updates. I don't know. I haven't. I'm sure there's a newer update that I haven't done. All right, so I guess that's proof of life, right? I guess we could try the old cart now, Legend of Zelda, just to see how it works on normal carts. The PCB of the Everdrive is bigger, fractions of a millimeter, but it is bigger. So it's possible that that is the issue. Whereas with old carts, I still don't know if I would say it's great. I mean, it's better. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I think this problem is gonna affect every slot replacement that is not like the original one. Now, you know, that's an endeavor. I don't know how you'd ever. I don't know what you'd have to do. I mean, obviously the original ones is a long-term defect that they fail. So unless you could have Nintendo spin up new ones with their old molds or make new molds or something, I don't know what you'd have to do. But Rob's RGB video on the RetroTank being used for VHS transfer was amazing. I'm gonna get a 4K after watching it. That's neat. That's something on my bucket list. Well, we have a bunch of VHS tapes. I'm not really a big fan of physical media. But I would be interested in getting, because I know there's all sorts of cool. I'm going to sit down and we can play some NES while I talk. I know there's all sorts of cool like stuff you could do with archiving VHS tapes. 1.4.2, latest stable version. Yeah, I agree, Matt Gamer. The nostalgia of putting it in and flipping it down. I don't know how you'd have to. I don't know what you'd have to do to fix that. Some kind of like pogo pins or something, but that's like a nightmare. Like, I don't know. I'm sure it's possible to make some kind of a funky thing. I'm just trying to think about how you might fit some like brushes or something in there, but yeah. So let's see, does this work? It does. Lazy Bear said that the tooling required to create a new connector alone was $30,000. Yeah, that's why you would have to have someone like Retrobid or something. They would have to foot that bill. Which I think they would probably make a killing. Maybe not. I don't know. They'd probably make their $30,000 back. But if they even if they charged $50 for that, or you know, $40 or something, how many they would have to make over? They'd have to make over 1,000, sell over 1,000 plus their costs and stuff. I don't know. Pushing down the cost. Another $15. Wait, so you mean you guys designed you had a mechanism? Is this volume too loud? Hopefully not. Let me put a, wait a minute. Is this what I want? It is. Oh gosh, that's not what I wanted. What do I want? What is my camera going into? Oh, wait a minute. It's not that. Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm being a big dumb. Here we go. This is what I want. Hey, it's me, Mario. Okay. Okay, hi. I guess I'm kind of done with the overhead shots. I'm gonna move this over so that I can actually play games. Yeah. How many revisions would it take, though? New tooling each time? Don't even use pogo pins or anything. Just make the tray pivot. Have a latching spring mechanism. Oh. I mean, I would sooner... I would rather see... Now that I freaking took it apart and took my overhead cam apart. I'd rather just see a top-loading... well, it's not for nostalgia, but I could see some kind of a 90-degree angle bracket, so you could just make it a top loader. Might be a good. I mean, it's kind of. Some people might hate you for it, but make your front loader a top loader. Using an FFC and 2 PCBs, you can make it feel like a push down. Oh, I see. So you could just angle the whole connector. Huh. Yeah, so like the slot master, just have it like the slot master, but angle or have the top PCB be on a pivot. But you know, it's still that just makes it more fragile. Someone's doing a top loading conversion. Huh. As long as it's 3D printed, top and not cutting. Oh yeah. I mean, it would be a mega big piece. I mean, it would be a lot of plastic. You would have to, I don't know. Is this, I mean, it's not that big. This is what, like 200 millimeters or something? It'd probably fit on most, well, actually, I don't know. It might not fit on Ender 3s, but if you've got a Bamboo Labs or a newer printer that has a bigger bed, it probably would fit. And it probably doesn't even need to be that tall. It does have to clear the heat sink. The 7805 heatsink. Can you connect this with Mister? What? Ooh! Can I connect what with Mister? The cartridge, or the retro tank you're talking about? It's all 3D printed. That's interesting, Alteracious. If you've got any links to that, I'd be interested to see that on Twitter, even if it's a work in progress. It's just the nostalgia factor, I think, is what people like, you know. It's a pretty confusing mechanism at first, too. If you've never used an NES, you might be like, what the heck? And it just gets worse and worse with time, because the original intention was that this was like a VCR or something, and that was even back like when my parents had a VCR. It was not, because there were some older VCRs that were like the mechanism popped up, like there was like a tray, like a sled or something. So like you put the tape in, and it was at an angle, and then you kind of had to push it down to make the connection. And then to, you know, the reverse, it would pop back up and it would slide out. I think that's what the NES was trying to mimic. But by the time that my parents had a VCR, or well, by the time I mean, my first recollection of our VCR was it was like a feeding mechanism. You just push the tape in and it would go in. So the actual part of it, like popping down on top of the read heads, was all hidden inside of it. So even that is like not super nostalgic for me. The cartridge, the Ninten-Drawer. No, well, so the Mister is never going to be able to have cartridges. Just unfortunately, and this goes way back. I mean, this is like a long-standing issue with that a lot of people have. Not a lot of people. Some people have with Mister. Some people don't care. Is that you can't use carts with Mister. But it's a limitation of the amount of I/O that the Mister has. So I've heard that you're just not going to have enough pins, enough input. Now, whether Mars is ever going to come out, but it will. I mean, I trust the people involved. Mars is supposed to have, and this is kind of new info that I learned, or do you guys want to see the Mars, or do you want to see me talk about or play NES? It's up to you. We could talk about, we could do like some modding news if you want to, or I could play NES. So I guess that's really the end of the NES, the Ninten-Drawer stream. I really wish that I could show you the part of actually. I really wish that I could show you the part of actually setting up the region, but I would have to. I'd have to get. I don't know. I'd have to. I asked Rocker if it was there was a way for me to reset mine, and the only way to do it is to have a different region cart or console. So, yeah. So I can either play NES, or we can look at Twitter and or my Discord and see what's new in the world of modding and stuff if you want to. Anyway, so I was gonna say that Mars has one of the major features that they kind of talked about recently was it has both a cartridge slot, and it's kind of a generic cartridge slot in the sense that it's sort of like the Analog Pocket, where you can get different adapters for it. So like there's no console cartridge that fits it by default. You need an adapter, but there are adapters for a lot of different consoles, a lot of retro consoles. So Mars is another FPGA like Mister, but not only does it have adapters for cartridges, it also has changeable controller ports. Let's just talk about that instead, because no offense to the NES people, I really appreciate you guys giving me the thing, the Ninten-Drawer. I had a lot of fun analyzing them. We're gonna revisit all this anyways when we do the Slot Master, so we'll come around. I don't know. Do people really want my opinion about which one I believe that they should get? I like all the engineering that went into the Ninten-Drawer. It is, if you are just going to use regular carts, I think it's fine. I think it works as intended. But at least with my specific Everdrive, I would be frustrated having to take that in and out every single time. Now, if I did not have the Laser Bear version of the Slot Master, I would also have the same gripe. But because of the cam lever mechanism of the Slot Master, you can at least force it out with the cam thing. So that's the one that I'd probably use the most often. But the Ninten-Drawer is probably going to live in my Open Nintendo. That's just my opinion. Yeah. Classic Star Slap reset 3. Oh, okay. So it does it. You can hijack it. Okay. You grew up with one of the push-down VCRs, Ian Scott. The 3D model of the slot took months and months. It was by far the. Let's go back to the. So I'm just gonna read some comments. So Merlin Shaw said the 3D model of the slot took months and months. It was by far the longest part of the project. So you actually recreated the opening and all the NES bits to do your modeling. That's kind of cool. It's by far the longest part, but there are many folks that are better at 3D modeling than I am. The beauty with it being open source is anyone can make their own slot, which, slot based. So you're talking about the actual, the shroud part. Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see, I could see slopping some chamfers and like the grabby bits on top of it. Yeah. Better to switch to the top loader? Well, Vincent, the problem with is mine an N8 Pro? No, I have just the normal N8, and it's from Stone Age Gamer. I know do they source shells from different places? I bought mine way back when, too. I probably bought this in, this is copyright. I would say probably 2017 or 18. I could Google it quickly without, let me see, how do I find this? Everdrive N8. 2017. Yeah, April 2017 is when I bought my Everdrive. Like I said last week, ours should be called the Slot Apprentice at this point. Well, yeah, don't get me wrong, I really do. This is not like, I don't think that this is like the end of NES slot innovation, right? I really do think that this is just the beginning. The fact that multiple projects are happening now simultaneously to attempt to address the shortcomings of the Blinking Light Win, which is the original one, that's amazing. So to have anything is better than the Blinking Light Win. Not the N8 Pro. No, the N8 Pro didn't exist when I bought this. You had a recent Everdrive and it wasn't that tight. That's interesting. So maybe the newer PCBs are slimmer? Am I in touch with Taki regarding the $99 Mister? I'm not in touch with... No, I know of it. And I would love to check it out, but I mean, a Mister is a Mister. If it runs Mister software, then it's really not going to be different than I think. I don't, as far as I know. Well, actually, no, there are some differences. Let's talk about, I guess I want to show that cartridge thing. The thing that Todd Gill was talking about or showing off on his Twitter. Let me just bring it up over here. Okay. Didn't some of the earlier Everdrives have square edges, whereas the later had a taper? No, this has chamfers. You're talking about in the actual slot or the cart edge. It has chamfers, but it's substantially different. Well, not substantially. I can tell that there's a difference without even measuring it, but I have calipers. Actually, is this going to even fit in there? No, it's not. Rip. Well, that's annoying. I can't, without taking it all apart, I can't really get my chamfers in there, or my calipers in there. But it looks a little different. I mean, thicknesses of PCBs go in 0.1 millimeters, so that's small, but I can notice a difference a little bit. So that's possibly it, and it is different than an original cart. Yeah. So, I don't know. They should improve the original NES slot. Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see somebody try to, I don't know, even then, I mean, you're just gonna, well, I mean, whatever, 30, 40 years is a long time. I don't know how long it takes for the mechanisms to, like, guarantee to fail if they do. Blue Shell said it well on Twitter. These are both designed with different goals. I just wanted to get what I was working out in the public domain. Slotmaster was not designed as a commercial solution, but rather a kit for DIYers. Yeah, and as far as beating the Blinking Light Win, I say it's okay. Open sourcing the Blinking Light Win. Let's put it that way, and I think that's a win, for sure. You could source all the materials for less than a Blinking Light Win for new. I see N0 insertion force slots exist. Really? Okay, so let's look at not a Tesla. I get my P1S tomorrow. That's exciting. Here we go. Okay, so we'll talk about a couple of these. Let's see how many we got. So this was like the first picture. Let's see, where's the beginning of this action? So Mars FPGA Twitter account tweeted just this looks at the back. of the Mars. I guess Mars, if you don't know, is supposed to be, it's an upcoming FPGA based console retro system, I suppose, like a Mister, but it apparently is supposed to have higher capabilities. So they think like Dreamcast probably would be doable, up to Dreamcast, I suppose, and also on paper 4K 60 FPS output. So that's better than the Mister by itself. And I've heard rumors that it's supposed to be like $750 too. So for the cost of the RetroTink 4K, you could get a Mars instead if it's good. You see $2 AliExpress. I have seen those $2 things. I don't know how good they are. Yeah, but there are replicas of that one. You can get them on eBay and AliExpress and stuff. Okay, so that was the back. So this was like the beginning. I kind of tuned out the Mars stuff for a really long time, but it just kind of kept going more and more. So this was like the top of it. Todd said that the cat was out of the bag. I don't know if this retro gamer, this Japanese YouTuber, had a whole thing about it. Let's see what the post says. I don't really remember. Received new images and information directly from them, so I am currently editing them. Design images of the Mars FPGA have been released. It's scheduled to be available for purchase at the end of the summer. So this is like like a wireframe of the Mars design, but then Mars themselves put a render of Mars. I mean, it looks sick. I mean, I'm curious if they're going to use if they're going to make like whatever Mike Chi used to 3D print the original RetroTink 4K shells, like the HP SLS printers or whatever, because that, or even if it was like the SLS nylon, like the what is it called, the Fuse One, what company makes that? Like if Spicer were here, he would know what I'm talking about. There's the SLS 3D printers where the layer lines are very fine and like it prints in nylon, and I really like that nylon texture. That's what this render looks like. But I mean, it looks cool. But anyway, so it kind of went on and on from here. Todd kind of showed off that it is from the Mars account, but so this was obviously this is a Genesis cart with an adapter, and these are Genesis ports in the front. So Todd mentioned that this part here in the front is swappable, and it looks like it's like hot swappable. Maybe not hot swappable. Well, it might be. It might just be USB, because that would be like sick if these were just USB snack or something like that, or you could just I don't know. Can you hot plug snack? But if they're just hot swappable, I'm taking these out because my body's getting sweaty. If the controller connectors are just hot swappable, that's sick. You wouldn't have to like fiddle with anything. So then the next one that they showed was this N64 one. So this N64 cart with a different adapter and 4 controllers, which is cool. I can guarantee you that these are going to be pricey. Well, like a whole complete kit, like the $750 is probably not going to get you multiple carts, if that's included even, or multiple cart connectors. Having a cart connector on the Mars is a waste of resources. I don't know why you would say that. Well, no offense. There are a bunch of people that would love to play real carts. And yes, I agree. It's very impractical for sure, because I think most people that are getting an FPGA console, they probably have just their whole collection, every console that they want to play, they probably have all the ROM sets anyways. But I would love to be able to put a normal cart in there, just for ease of use. Like, I guess one of my biggest gripes about Mister is the menu system. And don't tell a Mister fanboy that, because they'll roast you. But I don't like because that's what like Tap2, is that what it's called? Tapto. There's the Mister add-on thing, not Mister add-ons, but the add-on for the Mister. That's like an NFC game switcher, right? So like it'll switch to the console and the game that you want to play. that is amazing, because you can, like, if you just had well, again, it's a little redundant, and it's, ideally, I don't know, what you have, like, freaking put like Siri or something in there, like, hey, Mister, play this game, like that would be cool. But getting to a very specific game, if you want to change consoles constantly, that's the issue that they're trying to solve. So if you do have original cartridges, just being able to put a cartridge in there and it swaps to that console and that game alone, even it would rip the ROM from the cartridge, because that's what it's got to do, right? I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if it would rip the ROM or if it would directly interface with the cartridges. That seems more difficult, right? Actually interfacing with the cartridge instead of just ripping it, like what are those other Retron consoles? Don't they just rip the ROM from the cart and then you don't really need it again? But it's a killer app, I would say, for the Mars. So I see where you're coming from. For the cost of it, well, like I said, I don't. My gut feeling is the $750 will probably get you no adapters. If you look at the original picture here, the wireframe, this render or whatever, it's just USB. So my guess is there's going to be a base model, Mars, that is just going to have the USB ports. And, it obviously has the cartridges in the top, but you probably won't get a Mars kit, or like a cartridge and controller pack for that money. So, yeah, it probably adds to the cost of it, but it is in my opinion, it's a worthwhile addition to have it. Whether you use it or not, or whether you want to use it or not, it is what it is. Cartridges is fine, but for a system that tried to do it all, it becomes a cost issue. I agree, and also it adds complexity to the project, right? I'm a software developer by trade, and just anytime that you add any features to a project, that you just make it harder to maintain in the future. But yeah, hopefully they'll have good luck coming up with their system and making it work for them. Something of the feeling of putting it in a cartridge in a console is just amazing, and having a physical way to hold it. USB is standard for controller ports, but I would splurge for the N64 ports. Yeah, I would see, like, pick your top three. Like, I really only have cartridges, like real cartridges, for the NES, the N64, the Super Nintendo, a couple of Genesis ones. So I would probably, well, I can't friggin' afford a Mars. If Mars team wants to give me a Mars, I would love that. But I spent all my money. I spent money on, I got an OLED. Even a used one, a refurbished one, was still a lot of money, right? What is that noise? I keep hearing a noise. I don't know. So even a refurbished OLED, I had to buy the RetroTink because Mike didn't have, he didn't really give me a discount. I'm not like saying anything, but like I bought full price RetroTink 4K. That's why I'm like deeply indebted into Dan Kuntz's I'm indebted to Dan Kuntz because, not indebted. He helped me out by giving me a morph, and I'm hoping that he gives me the analog bridge and stuff too, because I would not be able to afford both. And then Brandon, is that his name? I'm sorry. The person who let me borrow the OSSC Pro, like, I love that, Plus I bought the 3D printer, and it's like, I don't know, I'm broke as hell. So I would love the Mars. I have two Misters. Well, I have one fully built Mister, and I have another DE10 Nano that's not built. I was waiting for the answer to Mars, or like the next generation Mister, from Mr. Add-on. So I have the aluminum case. It's actually here on the desk. I have the aluminum case, Mr. Add-on's case. But the next generation Mr. Add-on's case was supposed to be the Mr. Express. If you Google that, it's hard to find information about the Mr. Express, but it's like a different form factor, like a square kind of. It was supposed to have a metal shell and stuff. So that's what I was hoping for. That's why I bought another DE10. But now we have all these things with Taki talking about the $99 Mr. Board, or the DE10 clone, but the way they're talking about it is it might have different port sizes, like the ports might be a little bit different, so it may not be 100% compatible with the existing Mr. stuff. All right, USB is standard. Could you be useful for dumping cartridges? That's right. If people want to legitimately dump their collection, sure. that's that's a great example. Even just it's a very expensive ROM dumper, but using it as a ROM dumper, it's worth the price. I'm buying a house, so I'll have to choose between a Mars and a registering 4K. I'll probably scoop the registering 4K. Yeah, especially if you have a collection of consoles already. I mean, I'm super the world is basically blown wide open with options. I mean, in the next coming years, it's gonna be crazy. We're just now we're getting powerful handheld PCs, right? And didn't Taki say, or is that his name, Taki? Didn't they talk about a Mr. Handheld? Like, imagine a Mr. Handheld, like with an OLED screen. Maybe not even running Mr. Maybe just an FPGA OLED. Like some other company might come out with an FPGA that is like a high. Not to say that I don't like the. I have a what the heck is that brand? A Miu Mini, but the screen, is fine. I guess the Analog Pocket was supposed to be that, but I don't. The Analog Pocket just wasn't it. I guess I don't know, but I mean we're just getting there now. I suppose is what I'm trying to say with. I don't know, FPGA emulators. They're still emulators. I'll call them that. But if it's a high end thing, premium thing. Excuse me. I think that it's still cool. So that's what the Mars seems like that. Should I mute my speakers? They're off. It could be coming out of here, but I keep hearing things like noises. I don't know. I want to get a mini printer that doesn't take up a lot of space. I guess I would probably suggest the Bamboo Labs A1 Mini. At this point, I exclusively use Everdrives. Same with me. Yep, and ODEs in the original consoles. Either way, and I think I'm not alone in that. I still collect carts. I don't collect carts. Pretty much from the very beginning, the idea of my channel and retro modding news and just everything that I've pretty much done in retro online was, how do you get the best of either best video output or how do you get it so they can play games from an SD card on and insert console here. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. I just can't justify, if it's a newer console, I have a hard time justifying piracy and things. I have some PS5 games and stuff, so I obviously I know it's more difficult to pirate PS5 games, but for older stuff, I don't know. I can't really justify. Well, see, some people would say, oh, it's Nintendo's right to release games on Nintendo Switch Online or whatever, but I'm probably preaching to the choir. But this is they've already released games on different consoles before, and they're gone. They've gone away. So how can you justify to your consumers, to Nintendo, I mean, how could you justify putting them? How could you justify selling anything digitally? I just I don't know. It doesn't, especially stuff like that, like downloadable games. When they're just gonna they're gonna be gone. In the future, the Switch system will go offline eventually. So I don't know. I don't feel good about buying digital retro games, I suppose. What's the price target on Mars? Yeah, it's expensive. Yep. Could you use Mars FPGA for upscaling just like RetroTink? Probably not. There is a picture of the ports, and it's just a digital video port output. That would be a cool feature, but it's apples and oranges. The expertise of, well, I guess Mike Chi did work with them, right? I think somebody mentioned that Mike Chi worked with them for scaling, for the digital scaling aspect of it. So, but it's a different market. The amount the hard, well, there's two hard parts, right? One is designing the hardware, and two is designing the interface. And you have to have both. You have to have killer hardware, and you have to have a good interface. So we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, so let's keep scrolling. So we got the N64, Super Nintendo. Those, man, that looks so sick with the Super Nintendo cards. Even these are just renders and look cool. Oh, here's a render of the back. Man, vertical USB. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess that's better strain relief, right? Vertical power versus horizontal, because every one I've ever seen is sideways, and I don't know. Is there some worry that they're going to snap off or something? And all the ports are lined up in the back, which is cool. It's an advantage over the Mister. Apparently, it's supposed to be small, 8 inches by 6 inches. So that's like half a sheet of paper, and then 2 inches thick. So that's half a sheet of printer paper. I don't have any printer paper available, but yeah. They said the second FPGA. Oh, right. It is supposed to have 2 FPGAs. One is for scaling, I guess, and one is for the actual generation of the output. So that's kind of interesting. Probably why it costs so much. And man, I don't know. But Todd keeps posting these pictures, and it's like, he's made me a believer, but man, I can't. I don't have the money. I'm broke. No wimpy 3.5. Oh, it doesn't. I just noticed that it doesn't have a 3.5 millimeter output. Audio output. Oh, it has composite video output. I don't know how I feel about that. Oh, although I guess the analog multi-output port, whatever, probably covers. It's probably configurable. So like you could do VGA or component. But the composite output is probably for dual output. Well, I guess you'd have the analog for that. I don't know what the advantage of having the composite video is just exposed here. I mean, I guess it's fine, but if you have an old TV, but buy $750 Mars FPGA, plays it on CRT that only has composite video. But some people love composite video, so yeah. So that's Mars. I mean, I don't really know what else to say at this point, but it is it's very recent, like the last couple of days that we've had a lot of this stuff. I mean, again, some people believe it's vaporware still. It hasn't been officially announced, or I don't love their marketing. Dongles. I don't love the analog output. I don't love the marketing, I would say. Like, it kind of frustrates me, but that's just me personally. Like, I'm very, when it comes to I don't know. I say that, and then like I appreciate good when like outside the box marketing works sometimes. I appreciate that, but there's like a weird, for me personally, because I'm so heavily, like, I look at Twitter like all day every day, and I see everybody's project announcements and all this stuff, and like for the most part retro projects don't really I don't know. Sometimes they don't really do a great job of marketing themselves. And there's a little bit of an uncanny valley, I would say. Sometimes you get people that are like it's kind of good, but it's also kind of cringe at the same time. No offense to anybody. If anybody's watching this and like, am I cringe? Like, I'm also cringe, so it's fine. But sometimes I get a weird feeling with things, and it's hard to, I can't explain that other than that. But this is sort of like, I just feel like this is kind of weird. I know this is stuff that's like evolving in real time, but it doesn't seem coordinated. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah, they didn't take any money at least. Oh yeah, no, well, that's the other thing too. Like, it kind of feels like trolling all the time, which I don't like that. Like, I don't know. Like, who are you? You want to take yourself seriously or don't you, right? Like, I don't know. This is my opinion. Because basically what is happening is every time that you do weird cringe/trolling marketing is like you're alienating normal people. Like, you're alienating the people that you are hoping to attract into retro, like the parents of kids that are like, ooh, this is interesting. Like, I kind of want to get into retro stuff, but I don't really want to buy old consoles. like, Mom, buy me a Mars for Christmas, and then the mom goes and watches, Mars dunking on somebody on Twitter or whatever, and like that's their first experience. I guess it's kind of like, no offense to Voltar, I really do appreciate everything that he's done for retro. I feel like I can only say this because I've experienced a lot of different things there are to experience just from anybody, not just Voltar, on Twitter and in the community. So I when people could say and do whatever they want. Like I firmly believe that, I'm not gonna like, it's not up to me to police somebody else's behavior. But I feel like you're making the community look bad over and over again, and not just Voltar. Just there's a bunch of different people that do it, right? So if you really want to grow the thing, which some people don't care about that at all, they just want, to do their own thing. But I don't know. I would rather do my best to look professional and be professional. Me personally, I'm saying, I would not like force somebody else to do this. I don't like, it's not for me to police other people. But that's why I try to be semi-professional. I know my Twitter icon is the most ridiculous thing ever, but I like, and I do use the power of memes and stuff like. But that's just what Twitter and marketing, and like now, I did actually slam people for doing the like ultimate console thing. I just complained about that the other day, but like I am guilty of doing that stuff too. But overall, I hope that I'm giving a positive impression for the community. For what that's worth, that could be worth zero in the grand scheme of things. But especially for manufacturers of cool technology, it feels a little harmful to the community when you operate that way. I hope that doesn't come across as offensive or whatever. That's just my opinion. But Todd Gill loves composite. Oh, that's true. He has his RetroFrog composite cables. That's true. I didn't think of that. I didn't take any. Oh, as a designer, I get this big wave of posts. Todd just wrapped up the redesign after being on lockdown for a while. Oh, I see. So was there a major redesign or something of the case? Because I know Todd is working on the case, right? Can you create a virtual FPGA chip software on PC? I've thought about that. Like, I'm curious if there are like computer. So you're saying in only computer, like only with a computer, like an FPGA emulator, like not an emulator in the sense of like FPGA's emulation, but like can you emulate an FPGA in a computer? That's interesting, and I don't know about that. Or is like in the future could like there be add-ons for computers that give them the hardware to do that? That'd be cool. It's a choice some companies do, like some fast food companies and stuff. That's true. I know that there are some brands that like I think Wendy's too in the past, like. But to me that's a for fast food companies anyways. That's like a trend thing. That's not like a permanent. Well, that's Dbrand is the one company that I see that repeatedly trolls people like over and over again. So but I do see like trendy moments in viral moments, I would say. So like companies like that are like, I feel like they're trying to constantly go viral and say just bizarre shit, because that's like Zoomers love that stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a Zoomer. My son's not a Zoomer. You're with me on that. Lots of trolling and negativity in the scene in the last 2 years. It's not been in the last 2 years. It's been for years. It's been since basically I got into it. Since 2017, 2016. It's been like that because I've been following people. I haven't really been participating in Twitter. My Twitter account is from like 2013 or 14 or something. Actually, the first account, the reason I made a Twitter account was to follow I Am Developer. This guy, it's like a developer programmer humor. But somebody in my I have a master's degree, but I was in master's program at the time, and some guy was like, you should check out I'm Developer on Twitter. And I'm like, okay, so I made a Twitter account for that, to follow that account. Anyway, so, but it's interesting how Twitter was like is the place that most creators hang out in retro. So it is very much a double-edged sword. You have to like, you can't like. My major problem, I think, with retro is probably Twitter. Maybe Discord second, but not. If you're on Twitter, you can't like. I won't even say it's the algorithm necessarily, but it's like if you follow people, they might retweet something that kind of, I'll say, triggers, like, because that's a thing, right? Because people get like upset. You might have gut reactions of anything. It's not like specifically like political or anything, but like there are people that like. Okay, I'll give an example for myself. And this is kind of, this is personal. In my head, because I've made YouTube videos, right? I'll get rid of this dumb spinning thing. Because I tried for like 2 or 3 years to be successful on YouTube. I don't say that I'm not successful, but I kind of chalk it up as a loss, right? Like, I'm sure if I grinded more, I probably could grow more, my subscribers, but I don't feel the success that it looks like Macho Nacho's having. Not to say that like that's the goal, is to like be that successful, or I guess like Bob to a lesser extent. Plus I have other hardships in my life that like I can't dedicate the time. In fact, I probably shouldn't have dedicated the time that I did dedicate in the past. So like my life is better now, I think, overall, because I spend less time working on YouTube videos. And that's kind of why you get these half-ass streams sometimes. I'm sorry, but like my life balance is better. That's what I'll say. But like I'll see, and this is no offense to Tito. Like Tito is great. Like I love his work ethic. I love the what he's doing for the community. I really do think is a positive force. But like anytime I see him post something, I get like this immediate gut reaction that like I failed. Even though he doesn't ever mean to post it in that way, like I know Tito's not posting an advertisement for one of his own videos to try to make me feel bad, but I see it and I feel bad because he is successful and I'm not successful. I think that I'm not successful, right? So every time, so this is a weird, bizarre thing. Anybody on Twitter can have wildly different experiences in how they view Twitter itself, like the posts on Twitter. So it's not just retro, but it's like you get all sorts of stuff. You get Elon Musk one day and Trump the next day and this the next day and this the next day. Like that's just the nature of Twitter itself, not really retro. So part of it is the people on Twitter, but part of it is Twitter itself. And I mentioned that in my Discord, that I said the part of the problem overall with retro is social media. I guess I meant Twitter specifically. But to a lesser extent, Discord, because it is sort of fragmenting people into their own kind of cliques, which is not really terrible. Like I'm not like saying people shouldn't do that, but the problem is you have a bunch of information now in a bunch of different places. So where we used to have forums where you might have an entire community in a huge discussion group, it does get out of hand, but you have more visibility on things that are happening, kind of like behind the scenes happenings, but also it's indexed on the internet, right? So you could search something from a forum and find a forum post or a topic or something. So that is a problem. Like that, this Discord has caused that problem, and I don't know what we're going to do in the future. So I noped out of Twitter a while ago, so I don't see any of this. Yeah, it's probably for the better, Ian. But I mean, it's where the retro news is at, so I kind of have to live on there. I hope that makes sense. I'm not. Maybe it was maybe people didn't know that about me. If I see people being successful, it's like a weird. Isn't that strange? Like other people being successful makes me feel bad, and it's not designed that way. It's just that's what it is, and that's how I feel. So, I don't see Tito doing live streams and making honest mistakes. His videos are heavily edited, and we don't see his real side. Yeah, I I kind of, I wasn't necessarily thinking specifically about Tito and Macho Nacho when I posted that. I made a tweet saying like I'm over the like, I have like YouTube content fatigue, which is, to me, that means like, I guess I tried to keep it specific to retro, but it's across YouTube, right? You see this like, not like enshittification, but it's very transparent when somebody is making a post, like especially when they add bells and whistles and stuff, like really, really like nice editing, but like not everybody. And there are hundreds of thousands, if not tens of thousands, or no, millions of different like high subscriber count, well edited YouTube channels. There are so like infinite basically. And any new niche, if you change to a different topic or something, you'll find tens of, if not hundreds, of YouTube channels. But for every Mr. Beast or for every Tito, you're gonna have that's like the fractional, like if you have a bell curve, right? So if your bell curve is Mr. Beast and Tito are here, right? So maybe Bob, no offense to Bob and Voltar even, I guess, just channel size wise, I guess I'll say. And I just mean the amount of the editing factor of the videos, right? So Bob and Voltar, they're behind Tito, I would say. Just he puts his heart and soul into editing stuff, Tito. But then, there's still the bell curve, right? So you'll have all these people, I'm probably in the normal, which is in the center of the bell curve, right? So you have the good people and the terrible people, the bell curve of just YouTube, period. So like there's just a massive amount of just, I don't know, people that try to mimic other styles. I guess that's where I'm trying to go, right? So people try to mimic. There is some noise happening. Oh, I might know what it is. Is it this fucking thing? I think I might have found what it was. Oh, that's funny. So, anyways, my point, long story short, my point is the game, if you look at there's a lot of YouTube like guru people that will teach you like, oh, this is how you get better at doing YouTube. And I watch a ton of them because I tried getting better at editing and this and that. And it's like, oh, in the beginning, it's like heavily like, find another creator that you like and sort of mimic them until you're good. Like do that over and over again until you make it. Or actually Mr. Beast said this, like he would prefer to not have a personality because his personality gets in the way of him basically making executive decisions to make his videos more popular, right? He views himself as the weakness of his own channel because he has a flavor. And so to make his channel really the number one, right? He wants to keep growing his channel and just grow his business. He basically sells his soul to grow the business. So I feel like that is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so people are probably tuned out, like what the hell. So, yeah, I don't know. I've always liked your channel because you don't feel like anybody else. I don't say this in like a like I feel like I'm better than other people, but no, I can't say that because that's dumb. I don't know. I really don't know. I just know what I like, and I like pointing out things that I find are cool that I think other people find are cool for the sake of improving the community. Sometimes I stop myself. I do post stuff, like I do have gut reaction moments where like I feel strongly and I feel like I have to make a comment about X, Y, or Z. Like if there's some thing happening, and that's why I try to stay out of drama stuff. Occasionally I get hooked into it. Like the drama stuff hooks me, and then I end up typing a comment. Usually those kind of tweets, like later on, I delete them because I just feel like I have to type something out, but like I really don't. Like I don't need to say, like it seems silly. But I would sacrifice that part to make the community better. So I don't feel like I'm losing my soul in that way. I feel like I'm just trying to, well, I don't know. I have a lot of aspirations. I really do. If I had more time to dedicate, I don't think YouTube videos is what I would like to make. No offense to console mods, but I think I would like, and to a lesser extent Bob, although, his actual website, it used back in the very beginning when I got into retro, I visited Bob's site all the time to find out information, right, about RGB, about different mods and things. Now I hardly ever, mainly because I get sort of the same kind of info that I used to get on Bob's site on Twitter. So it's not that I don't, I believe that his blog posts and stuff, like, I think that's important, that he has these blog opinions about and fact sheets about mods and stuff. But the actual rest of the website, that is like organized lists of mods, it doesn't get updated that often. So I would love to see, I would love to personally make a curated list of mods for each console. And I've tried doing this a couple of times with I've had ideas of doing this in the past. It's just a lot of work, and I just can't dedicate the time for it now. But I would love to do like a wiki style website, but it was more specifically like, okay, here are your options for best mods. Here's what my opinion about what I think that you should buy or do or get or whatever for each console. That's how I would like, what I think would be useful. Console mods wiki is kind of like, it's like an unopinionated, it's uncurated in the sense of it just has all the info, right? It has info about this mod, it has info about that mod, but it doesn't really have like a story, like, okay, you go, not story. It's like, it doesn't have like okay, here's my backstory of things that I've done with every console, whatever, or this console, and here's what I recommend through my experience. So, there is something else going off too. I hear like, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. Low production value stream gang. Yeah, Artemis, I see you grinding the streams. I just don't have, unfortunately, I don't have the time to come and hang out. Thanks, Matt Gamer. No drama. You show your work, you make mistakes, and invest a lot of time and your money and do all the work. I respect that. So basically a page. Yeah, like Bob used to make, well, okay, he kind of yelled at me one time. Well, not yelled, but I think it was just a misunderstanding of what I was trying to say. When I was getting into retro, we'll wrap up in a little bit. But when I was getting into retro stuff, I mean, it was mostly like, NES, Super Nintendo, N64, that kind of stuff. It wasn't fancy HDMI mods really yet. It was more manageable because it was kind of like, you really are there to learn about what is RGB, and these consoles literally don't have them by default, right? So learning how to add them, sort of like, not like, okay, don't like skip right to the chase, like, oh, if you're doing an NES, just NES RGB. It was kind of like learning about, granted, I do feel like there is a potential for more educational content for every console. And what I mean is, like, here's the NES, right? Here is maybe a short description of how the NES produces video, or like, the different technical aspects of the NES. And then, like, for any sort of RGB mod or whatever, here are the technical challenges that they have overcome, and kind of explain it like that. So like maybe like a My Life in Gaming style, like the old school My Life in Gaming, where it was like actually telling you about, like, okay, here's what the different analog video outputs like look like, and the different styles. So maybe sort of like a documentary style, like how the NES works. I would love to hear more from like Red Herring, because Red Herring is constantly saying things like the NES RGB is emulation. I would love to know why, his opinion about why. Like, I don't immediately discount him for having that opinion. I really feel like I feel like he knows what he's talking about, but I want to know more, right? And that's the kind of stuff that I would love to understand. Or, you know, why did Voltar design the Super Nintendo Junior mod with the chips that he did, right? Like why like it's interesting that he's able to use like specific off-the-shelf amps. Like I would love to learn more about that because I don't have a background in electronics. I just want to, you know. So I guess kind of like Ben Eater, I guess, is what I would think. Like Ben Eater style documentary / tutorial lessons in like bite-sized chunks. I really do feel like we could do a lot to expand. It's just general tech knowledge of the whole of all these consoles. So it's not just, we're not just relying on technical like masters that know a lot about the consoles. Like if we could spread the knowledge to more people, I think that would be cool. When are you doing the MVS cartridge mod? Looking forward to that project. When am I doing the MVS cartridge mod? Oh gosh, yeah, I have one. All right, so this will be the last thing I'll share, and then I'm gonna I have one. I think it's a complicated thing. I don't have any of the parts, but I did buy the newer. What do they even call this now? It comes in a cool shock box now. I have the 140. Is it 141 one? Is the old one? But this is the blue one. This is the one apparently that can. Oh, 161 and one. I don't know. Apparently, this is if you can mod this, that it is like a FPGA thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know what parts that I need. That would probably involve talking to Leon, and sometimes that's tough. Don't you need 2 to do it? Oops. Well, I have the old one, so I don't know. Maybe I'll have to talk to Leon. Has been through it, so basically a page like iFixit. Exactly. Actually, that's a good comparison. iFixit. Well, yeah. Looking back at it now, I think I would rather have spent my energy instead of making videos, YouTube videos, make iFixit style guides instead. I feel like while it takes a lot of effort, I tried to make a big effort when I was making my YouTube videos into making sure that the stuff was clear. Granted, I only had a 1080p camera. Well, it can do 4K, but it was at 30 FPS. So I kind of just decided just to always do 60 FPS. Oh my gosh, has this been going this whole time? I was playing Enshrouded. That's what it was. I'm not crazy. I was playing Enshrouded and I never turned my game off. That's why I'm hearing like weird things in the background. This is a good game, by the way, if you don't know. That is why. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. That's funny. Oh, also, I cannot recommend a Radeon graphics card because I keep having these problems where my background will turn black and stuff. I just reinstalled Windows 2, and it didn't fix it. So there's some kind of driver issue. Don't buy Radeon graphics cards. Just saying. I want to mod an MVS cart. Yeah. You'll be modding controllers on your channel soon. That's cool. Looking at controller mods. I have thought about doing a GameCube mod. I know, actually, there's a bunch of stuff. I know there's like the FOB or FOB GC or whatever, which is the GameCube. Like it's an aftermarket GameCube PCB. I also know that there's one for the Switch Pro controller because of some new Smash Bros. Players. Like if you're a pro Smash Ultimate player, people will use the Ultimate controller or the Pro controller. I mean the Switch Pro controller, and there are actually replacement PCBs for the Switch Pro to make them better for, I don't know, for Smash players or something. So I would love to look into that. That'd be cool. You've been having issues with AMD drivers. People say that you can go and like download a really old one or whatever, like a few years old one, and it works fine. But like that's, like, okay, this is supposed to be background. And the most annoying, I could put up with just stuff crashing and freezing in the background. The problem is I can't click anything on the taskbar. Or I can't log off. I mean, now I guess I can click on the taskbar, but I can't shut the computer down. I can do Control-Alt-Delete and then log off. That will allow me to then shut down. Just drives me nuts. The fob has Hall effect joysticks. Yep, that's right. USB for Maple. That's the Dreamcast one, right? Man, there's a lot of stuff. I just don't have the money to buy it all. I really do. I want to buy a bunch of blue retro adapters too, but like as much as I like Humble Bazooka, I can't afford, like, unless he wants to send me some, I can't afford $40 times however many consoles there are. I know it sounds like an excuse, but that's why I really appreciate people that send me stuff, because otherwise I couldn't afford it all. I had to fix the okay. That's enough ranting. I need to go see if my dog needs to go out. Let me kind of wrap up. Again, thank you to Rocker and Blue Shell. I really think that the Ninten-Drawer is a cool idea. Whether it's a solution for Deathgrip, I'm not 100% sure. At least maybe with the original cartridges it was fine, but with at least my older Everdrive, it has the deathiest Deathgrip I've ever noticed. So, but we'll revisit that when we get back to the Slotmaster. So, what's coming up next? We've got to finalize work on the Micro 88 again. Micro 8088. I know those videos don't perform well. The streams don't perform well. I know that it's not that interesting seeing me just soldering a lot of stuff. And I know even within that, even if we weren't doing that, I know that retro computer stuff is a lot less popular than retro console stuff. But I want to change that. I think that it's a really cool thing. I know it's expensive to get into it, but I really do feel like there's a lot of fun to be had with there, and you don't have to spend a lot of money if you do some low budget stuff. But it is what it is. So next stream will probably be, I'm waiting for some parts, because I guess I accidentally didn't buy enough parts for the XTCF card. So I have a master order coming tomorrow. I have my P1S coming tomorrow. I'm not really gonna make a stream about that, but I'm excited about that nonetheless. So the next stream is probably gonna be the Micro 8088 stream, and then I might just do a stream to kind of reconnoiter what other mods I have. I do want to see. I want to do something with the. I have SYF replacement motherboards for the Game Gear. I have a couple that SYF sent me back when I was working on the GGHD, the Gamebox Game Gear consolizer, and I never did anything with them. So I would like to change that. I would like to do some. Plus, I have some of the HDMI mods from Ben. So I want to just check that stuff out, but I don't really know what I've got, and I don't know what I need. So if I need to buy some stuff, Retro Computers, Ian's like, yeah, because he made the. I don't know, Ian, if you saw. I bought one from Joe's Joe's Computer Museum or whatever. I bought a 2.0 card, so I have a 2.0 now. I'm excited to use this. Maybe not in the Micro 8088, but somewhere. So I have a hopefully working one. If there's money constraint, obviously AMD is fine for mid-tier. Well, I mean, this is mid-tier cards. It's 60. Well, maybe upper mid. I don't know. It's mid-tier price, I suppose. 6700 XT. Soldering is lovely to fall asleep to. I didn't think about that. NVIDIA RTX 40 series. The problem is it's just so expensive, and I can't justify buying anything like that right now. So the stream after the Micro 8088 stream, it might be just like a mystery box. So I need to see what parts I have and what I need to buy. And I have a lot of little projects that we can kind of bang out in a day. Like, yeah, you guys will just have to wait for that stream. So I have a lot of stuff. I got to go see if I need to bring the dog out. So. All right, we'll see everybody on Sunday with some Micro 8088 stuff. Leave a comment if you have any questions about the replacement cart slot stuff. Yep. Oh, I didn't even mention before that obviously it's working with both real carts and Everdrives, but I kind of showed that. Try DDU. I did use DDU to clean up. It's just the problem with the actual AMD drivers, and I've heard actually it's the problem is not necessarily with the driver itself, but it's with the Catalyst software, the AMD software. So I don't know. It sucks. I honestly want to RMA it, but like I don't want another card. I want like to return it. I bought it over a year ago, but MSI, it's an MSI card. MSI has like a 3-year warranty or a 3-year RMA period, but I don't want another card back. I want my money back because honestly, I feel like this is kind of useless. If it just, I mean, it's not useless. It works fine for games, but like, who wants to restart the computer every day or fix a problem with their computer every single day, like clockwork, or have to go back like 2 years get a driver 2 years old? Like, I'm good at that. Dog pics. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll post them on Twitter. I haven't had any recently. All right, bye everybody. I know I rant a lot. See you later.